All right, so here's a question we get quite often. Who builds cell phone towers? And back in the old days, it was typically the carriers, right? You'd have Verizon or whatever the company was locally, the local carrier that became Verizon or AT&T, or even VoiceStream, OmniPoint, T-Mobile, US Cellular. These companies would knock on your door, Sprint, and you'd be dealing with a local person who was the site acquisition agent. Could have been a real estate agent, could have been a consultant, could have been a subcontractor, but they were typically representing a carrier. And they would knock on your door, send you a letter, and they would be building for the tower or the cell site, but usually the tower here in the rural areas for the carrier specifically. And back then they weren't really thinking about co-location, about having more than one tenant, more than one carrier on these towers. So they would just build individual sites, individual towers. And over the past decade, for the most part, the carriers have gotten out of owning towers, right? So you saw this with T-Mobile selling off their cell sites, their towers. Not talking about rooftops, I'm talking about tower sites, to companies like Phoenix Tower, Crown Castle. You saw AT&T selling to Crown, selling these companies selling to SBA Communications, Verizon selling off thousands of towers to American Tower Corporation. So they got out of owning the towers. The only carrier that has remained a tower company is US Cellular, and they've got over 4,000 4,000 of these sites. So typically when you're looking at who is building who builds these cell towers, right now it's tower developers for the most part. Like 80% of these proposals that you'll receive are from they are from tower developers who are building on behalf of Verizon Wireless, AT&T, T-Mobile. The new kid on the block, Dish Network, is co-locating. They are just hopping onto existing tower structures. So they'll hop on an American Tower site or a Crown site or an SBA site or a Vertical Bridge site, etc. So if you want to find out who is building cell phone towers in your area, what I would recommend is call up your county and just say you'd like to find out in your county within a 5-mile radius of your property or your house, what are there any new cell tower applications pending in front of the Planning Commission, for example. And you might have to fill out a Freedom of Information request, or you go down there and you can see who the companies are that are on these applications. That's the fastest way to find out locally who's building towers. So like if you're trying to get a cell phone tower built on your property, for example, which a lot of people that call us are, and that's not something that we do, right? But that's the fastest way to find locally who is building cell phone towers in your area. Contact the Planning Commission at your county and see whose names are on the applications. And oftentimes you can also see ABC Tower Company is building on behalf of Verizon Wireless or on behalf of AT&T for FirstNet, for example. So that's the fastest way to find out who is building these towers. It could be a local developer doing it, but and then you can take further action from there. Hope this helps.